The fear of death follows from the fear of life. A man who lives fully is prepared to die at any time. Mark Twain. It's day 15 of 31 days to overcome fear. I'm Jewel Carter. We all know somebody that talks about life in terms of limits and unobtainable ideas and notions. Reality television is based in theory on us living our lives vicariously through someone else, because obviously somebody thinks we aren't bold and daring enough to live it. And I guess if the ratings for some of these shows proves anything, it's that to some degree, it's true. How much life can we be living if we're in constant contact with electronic devices? If we're on a first-name basis with each of the housewives in each of the cities, and we know that none of the basketball wives are actually married to basketball players or anyone, and somehow it doesn't really matter, we still watch. Well, I'm not guilty of watching any of these shows, but let me take a moment to step down off my high horse just long enough to pretend like I am the Olivia Pope of this issue, and if all my gladiators can say amen, we can move on. Now, I have to give thanks to my father's oldest daughter, who I haven't spoken with since her father's funeral. Yeah, she always referred to him as her dad, as if his other 4 daughters were brought here on the Voyager with no father of our own. But that too is another story. Not even for another day, that's for an entirely different 31 days to overcome something journey in itself. Anyway, the point I'm making here is that I owe her, my father's daughter, more gratitude than I'll ever be able to pay back in my lifetime, and she never knew why. See, we're about 13 years apart, but I remember that she had this amazingly beautiful voice with this crazy octave range that would make Minnie Riperton go sit down somewhere. She played the piano, she loved photography, and even though she went to college, for a brief time she chose to stop and join the workforce. She chose to work and retire from the phone company. Now, the summer of my sophomore year, I went to Los Angeles to work and to save money so that I could go to school in Europe. And the conversation that she and I had changed the way that I looked at things from that point on. When I told her what my plan was, she said, "I wish I would have done that. I've always wanted to do that. I guess I'll never get that chance." Mind you, at the time, she was 32, 33, never married, no children. Why couldn't she go? There are planes and boats that leave every single day. Well, from that point on, I swore that I would never not try. And if we were speaking today, I'd tell her that it's still not too late. That every day you draw breath is another opportunity to do something. Even if it's wrong, even if you fail, even if you make a fool out of yourself by telling the world what they already know, that your poo stinks too. Oh, and the discovery I made earlier today about the funny thing about change is that sometimes you're so busy trying to make it happen that you miss the exact moment when it happens. Well, I was making coffee, and I'm not a big coffee drinker. I prefer more cream than I do coffee. And recently I've just started doing this whole lifestyle change, cutting out certain things like sugar. I no longer use sugar. I use the raw stevia, and I ran out. And I forgot about that as I was making the coffee, and I'm standing there going, okay, I'm not going to put regular sugar in there. So anyway, I pour the creamer in. I'm standing there really looking at this cup of coffee going, okay, well, let me just try it. And I tasted it, and it was really good. And so I'm like, wait a minute. I could drink coffee with no sugar at all. Why didn't I ever try that years and years and years ago of putting sugar in my body? It just never occurred to me that I might like it with... I am a work in progress. I'm still working on me. That is why I'm doing this. I'm telling you, every day I learn something new about myself. And I'm not afraid of that. The fear of death follows from the fear of life. A man who lives fully is prepared to die at any time.